No one knows the 6 hell torture we manhwa fans go through for days, weeks, and months waiting in agony while the manhwa writer starves us of chapters to feed on. So, you all need to be grateful for this list I'm about to give you. These manhwas are quite good and have 100 plus chapters. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first recommendation is Magic Emperor. As the Demon Emperor, Shuo Yifan used his millennia-old wisdom and strength to overcome all his opponents until the day he was betrayed. But he managed to reincarnate with his last breath into the body of a pitiful young servant. The servant has a spirit tie with his young lady Luo, and this spell made our MC to be oddly attached to her. However, as a Demon Emperor, he decided to work towards breaking this spell. His first step is to make this declining family into a top powerhouse on the continent. This is another manhwa that I strongly recommend to every subscriber on my channel. This is a manhwa that will open your eyes to psychological warfare. Though I'm not advising you to be evil, you need to know about how tricky people can be in order to protect yourself. So, make sure to put this manhwa on your must-read list. Next, we have Swallowed Star. In this manhwa, our protagonist Luo Feng finds himself in a post-apocalyptic world full of sentient monsters. He then resolves to become a warrior, progressively improving as he overcomes numerous challenges. However, his voyage is marred by carnage when he encounters foes far more powerful than himself. Swallowed Star is a must-read action manhwa with its heart-pounding action, futuristic setting, and compelling storyline. The artwork and storyline complement each other well, and seeing the main character evolve from nothing is very satisfying. So, go ahead and check it out. Next, we have the S-classes that I raised. In this thrilling action-packed manhwa, our main character happens to be one of those miserable F-rankers. However, his younger brother is one of the strongest S-class hunters, but sadly they did not have a good relationship after they awakened. One day, when our miserable MC snuck into a dungeon, even though his little brother had forbidden him from doing so, he nearly died, but his little brother came on time and saved him. Unfortunately, both the little brother and the boss died in this fight, leaving only our MC as the one who cleared the dungeon. Thankfully, he got a chance to go back into the past with an S-rank skill to nurture 50 S-class hunters. This manhwa is quite good with a decent storyline, and the artwork and power of the side characters are out of this world. If you haven't checked this out, then you are missing out on a unique manhwa. Next, we have the Eternal Supreme. One of the strongest martial emperors, Gu Feiyang, passed away in the Tianding Mountains and was reincarnated 15 years later as Li Yongxiao, embarking on a heaven-defying journey against the innumerable geniuses of the current timeline. Though he was the 4th strongest person on the continent before dying, this time he wanted to reach the ultimate martial arts level that had not been reached on the continent. This cultivation manhwa is quite different from the usual story we see. The MC here is quite shameless and his philosophy never ceases to amaze me. If you're looking for a decent manhwa to read, then consider checking it out. Next, we have Rise from Rubble. When a massive monster tide swept through the city 8 years ago, our MC's father was jailed for deserting his position. Now, he has resolved to clear his father's name and save him from execution, but that is easier said than done, given that he is a low-level fighter despised for being a traitor's son. However, things take an unexpected turn when he is betrayed by his party and abandoned in a monster lair. Even though our main character's wounds were healed the moment his cheat system activated, an unexpected challenge came knocking at his door. And that is the information about what had happened 8 years ago being buried within a deadly restricted area filled with high-level creatures. This is a crazy revenge manhwa packed with action. The artwork is also top-notch, coupled with good character development. So, do check it out. Next, we have Library to Heaven's Path. This manhwa follows the story of our MC Zhang Xuan, who finds himself becoming an instructor after entering another universe. A secret library system called Library of Heaven's Path then appears in his mind along with his transcension. A book on objects' flaws will be automatically compiled in the library as long as it is something he has seen, whether it is a human or an object. As a result of this, he becomes a formidable instructor that defies common sense. This is another manhwa with a decent and unique storyline. However, if you do not like manhwa with long discussion panels, then this is not for you. The artwork of this manhwa perfectly complements the storyline, so do give it a try. Next, we have the Lone Necromancer. After completing his mandatory military service as what any Korean do, our main character returned to study while planning his civil servant days ahead. However, his plans will be ruined when a mysterious screen appears in front of everyone in his class. The system then urged everyone to choose a class, and he chose the Necromancer class. As soon as everyone chose a class, the world fell into chaos as monsters started pouring out of gates, setting cities on fire, killing and eating humans. The protagonist and his classmates are now forced to adapt to this change as quickly as possible and learn more about their abilities in order to survive. This manhwa is an incredible work that will keep you glued from chapter to chapter with its fast-paced flow, filled with an incredible amount of details. This is a recommendation for God-tier readers since it has an ancient style of artwork. Next, we have Player Who Can't Level Up. In this manhwa, our protagonist Kim Kijyu received an invitation to become a player in the tower, and so he thought his struggles were over. But no matter how hard he tried, he just can't seem to progress beyond level 1. But soon, he discovers his ability to bond with egos during an accident, and his stats start improving after 5 years of working as a guide on the tower's lower floors. With this ability, he starts to aggressively climb the tower. This is an incredible manhwa that could have beaten solo leveling. Sadly, it was not given the development and attention it required to become a top manhwa. However, it is still among decent dungeon-based manhwa to read. Next, we have the Frenzy Evolution. Have you thought of what happens to cowardly characters in comics before? Well, our MC was among these cowards, as he was fear-stroked when the apocalypse broke out, leaving his disabled little sister to be munched by zombies. This became his biggest regret later on, even though he became strong enough to protect himself. As a result of this, he closed his heart in regret, and when he was cornered in a fight, he decided to not run anymore. He was thinking that if he dies, then he can peacefully go down to atone for his sins. And he ends up dying in this battle but unexpectedly gets a second chance. Now, with his knowledge of the apocalypse, he is determined to protect his little sister and become the strongest in these last days. This manhwa has incredible artwork with fair fight scenes. It also has incredible skills. Unfortunately, the author just showcased most of them without developing them. Lastly, we have Martial Arts Reign. Among his fellow mates, Yimeng, the rising star of Yi family, is considered a genius. But his envious relatives deceived him, severing his martial arts powers, impairing his capabilities, and mercilessly shackling him. Even so, Yimeng never gives up since he will do anything to exact revenge on Huang family for the murder of his parents. However, he is unaware that he is viewed as a nuisance by Yi family, and that a massive plot is about to reveal itself. This is an incredible manhwa with good character development. Even though the translation was a bit messy at the beginning, it got better after a few chapters, and I have read every single one of its 600 plus chapters. This is the only manhwa where you would see the funniest dragon. Ha ha ha. Now that I have given you this list, let me know in the comments section the name of your favorite manhwa. Do not forget to like and share this video with your friends. They might be looking for a new manhwa to read. Peace out, and what to read.